Your phenotype's what you look like. So I've got brown eyes, that's part of my phenotype as a result of my genetic composition. But phenotypes can vary within organisms and between organisms. So let's look at this holly here. Holly leaves are famously prickly, and if I squeeze that, it really hurts. So it's very well defended against herbivores eating it. But look here, this is the same plant, but in an area that's inaccessible to herbivores, and you can see how these leaves don't have prickles, isn't uncomfortable to squeeze, and their leaves are more photosynthetically efficient. Not having those prickles is clearly a huge advantage. So within this same plant, it has the same DNA, but very different appearances. And we call that phenotypic plasticity, variation not caused by the genetic differences. And how does this work? The way it works is that if you have a holly leaf that is grazed, it then sends a signal so that when that leaf regrows, it becomes prickly. And this is a process called epigenetics. Epigenetics means the DNA stays the same, but the genes are switched on or off, and actually by a process of DNA methylation. So a methyl group switches off bits of DNA, or demethylation switches them back on again. So that process means that they can respond to grazing by becoming prickly or not prickly if there's not grazing. And this process of phenotypic plasticity is common and very often caused by epigenetics. So think of plants that grow in the sun versus those that are the same species that grow in the shade, often the same plant. The shade leaves tend to be bigger and thinner, the sun leaves are shorter and thicker. Think of plants that grow underwater or above ground or above water. So those above water are often sturdy, so they can support themselves. Those underwater, less sturdy, often sort of frilly. Think of mammals that in cold conditions having a thick coat. Think of humans in high altitude areas having extra red blood cells so they can push the limited oxygen around more efficiently. This is all phenotypic plasticity, and it's a consequence often of epigenetics. And of course, it's a great way of responding to local conditions. So the response to this means that in areas that are heavily grazed, you can have prickly leaves and thus be defended, not get eaten. In areas where there's little grazing, you can have these much more efficient leaves and photosynthesize at a faster rate. So phenotypic plasticity and epigenetics are very common and important phenomena.